We are Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio, and we're joined by competitive eating icon.
Ooh.
You like that?
Icon. I mean,
icon. Let's welcome Joey Chestnut.
Oh, good to be on with you guys.
What's up, man?
Just a goofy dude that likes to eat.
You know what? We've interviewed you so many times throughout the years. You're such a legend. I'm not even sure we ever got the story of how you got into it. Is it because you love to eat? Did you have a natural knack for it?
Growing up, I was always the fastest eater in the family. My mom would actually get mad. And when I went away to college, I was kind of ashamed of it. They're like, all right, I eat normal, pretend like I'm like everybody else. But every once in a while, I'd let it out. And, like, my friends in the dorms, they like, oh, my God, Joey can eat. And then eventually I got signed up to a contest a couple years later, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I fell in love with it. It was like, all right, I don't have to be ashamed of it. I'm like,
lean into it.
Yeah,
dude. I just went in, and people are just yelling at me to eat, and I'm gonna put them down.
That means, Rich, you kind of have a natural knack for this, Rich.
I finish before everyone else. And
Noticeably,
I purposely have to slow down
It's
when I eat.
Oh yeah, so like. Yeah, with my fiance now, she's awesome. She we order 3 entrees all the time we go out, so it's not that weird. So we say we're sharing one, but really it just ends up being mine.
You know, it's funny you would say that. I'm a big advocate of splitting food, and these guys are making fun
with
of me.
his buddies, though, not with his wife. His
Anyone.
buddies, his friends.
No, yeah, I'll steal food. It's not stealing. I'm just making sure it's safe. If the food makes them sick, I want to be sick too.
Yeah, good one.
It's like it was definitely the food that made him sick because I got sick too.
You know what's annoying about it? Not you, Joe. You're a great guy. You're a professional. He's just an annoying friend.
True.
He's eyeing up my food the whole time, and I'm like, dude, wait until I'm like, get your nose out of my plate.
You shouldn't be neglecting your food. If it's there, you should.
Joey,
don't stare at it. Eat it.
Joey, I feel this guy. I will sometimes encourage my wife to order something I know she won't finish so that I know I'll get a little taste.
I know exactly what you mean.
See, he knows. By the way, I know how Covino is a guy that always says the 4 major sports: football, baseball, basketball, and eating. Because I feel like we talk about you a lot. You had a big year. You got that Netflix money this year. How was that?
Oh, Netflix was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond the money, it was really just going against my old rival.
How crazy was that?
Dude, Kobayashi was dodging me for years. And it really sucks that I couldn't go with the 4th of July this year. Major League Eating was not happy that I was doing the Netflix thing. But, hopefully we can figure it out for this year.
And I'm not just kissing your ass. Without you in it, it really was sort of weak.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you felt that way. You had to feel that way. Like, are you going to hope to come back next year?
I hope we can figure it out. It was weird because they did some weird things. But, you know what? I'm hoping that I don't have hurt feelings for long. So
yeah, but you know what? Then it's the return of Joey Chestnut.
I mean, this is America. You got to have the best person there.
Yeah, it's a bigger deal.
If it's on TV, you got to have the best.
Hey, we got a question from one of our listeners, Mercer Man in Pittsburgh, who's an amateur eater, has a question for you. Joey Chestnut here. How did you train to eat bagels? 15 in 8 minutes? Was that it? 15 in 8 minutes?
15 in 8.
He says because it doesn't seem like a lot, but they're so tough to chew. Your jaw tires fast. They're so dense. And there's always the danger of the choking hazard of eating bagels. How do you train for something like that?
Like all eating contests, I had to do practice with bagels. I tried to. So my first year, I didn't know what kind of bagels there were. This year was a lot easier to practice with. I found some New York style bagels. They're kind of it's like really dense on the inside, but there's like almost a crispy shell on the outside. It's a real New York bagel. But just practice, and the jaws usually get stronger.
We always see the physical strategy when you're competing. Tell us about the mental strategy and, the moments where your body's saying no, but you're still pushing through.
Yeah, it's weird because, I was like you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big eaters, fast eaters out there, but that's fun. I go in knowing, you got to be like a football player. They know that they're going to be injured, even if they're not really. They're going to feel like garbage for days after a game. I once I started realizing, all right, I have to go in realizing accepting that I'm going to feel like garbage for 3 days. Then I was like, all right, it's not about eating for fun. It's about eating just to do whatever it takes, and and I was able to push harder.
Joey, are people ever offended if you turn down food?
Oh.
Because imagine someone's
Man.
like, try my wife's pie, and you're like, oh, no thanks. That's like,
This weekend's all about the 5-layer dip. Yeah.
Oh,
Lots
no
of Super Bowl food.
if you say no thank you, that's like, man, okay,
So,
Joey.
A lot of the times I'm like super like some people are like, oh, it's like do the restaurants want to kick you out? Like no, usually the chef comes and brings over like their favorite thing that they're proud of.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's really good and they're super happy to actually eat it because they're used to people like just taking one bite and wasting the food, but they're super happy. But once in a while they bring out something that's a little bit funky. Or just a little bit different that doesn't agree. It's very rare. I'm not a picky eater, but
chilled monkey brain.
I just feel like oh my god, I'll force it down. I don't want to make anybody feel bad because I'm a terrible cook and having anybody.
Oh, you know what? I actually wrote down like cooking skills. You eat a lot, so no skills in the kitchen actually.
No, I'm terrible, dude. It's
You're just a great eater.
It's pathetic. So I have respect for anybody who actually can cook.
Joey, I'm not sure we ever asked you this, man. When you're out and about at a restaurant, people recognize you anyway. They've been watching you for years. They know you're the guy, but they're also watching to see how you eat. Is that annoying? Like, do you notice that? They're like, oh, let's see how fast he finishes. Like, you can't even go out in public and just enjoy a nice meal without people wondering.
It's not that bad of a gig.
It's not.
I was gonna say when you really take a bigger look, right?
Dude, I heard remember Charles Barkley getting people like yelling at him in bars and you get in fights. People commenting about my eating. It's not a big deal.
You're a big eater. Are you a big guzzler? Like, can you throw some back? Does that quantify for you being a big drinker
I can time
too?
travel.
Really? No, I mean, can you really drink a lot too, or no?
Yeah, it can go down. quite a
Really?
bit. Yeah. One time I did something for Pat McAfee before he was this Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
He lined up 12 pints of beer and I drank him in like 70 seconds.
Damn. I got to ask, of all the things that I know, the different categories, is there one that you're like, yeah, it's gross. I'll sit this one out?
Oh, yeah, bull testicles.
Yeah.
Dude. So, yeah, it was a casino contest. And
You mean they're not delicious?
I didn't do it. But I was like, so the casino was notorious for making bad food.
Right.
And I was like, no, I don't trust them to make them. And the eaters, they told me that they were like undercooked and like stretchy and they were not. I'm lucky I didn't do that one.
I mean, I'm glad he didn't either. Joey Chestnut here on the Covino and Rich Show, Fox Sports Radio. Now, Joe, you're, as far as I see it, responsible for the popularity of competitive eating.
I think, competition. I think the golden era, like me, Kobayashi.
Right.
That's what really, like, oh my God.
That's true. We always
people
say
can actually be competitive. It's like there were contests where he started out ahead and I caught him and I overtook him.
Yeah, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Ali, Frazier.
You need
a good rival. That is true.
It's it's really nice.
Would he give you that credit?
Oh, no, he might cry. Dude,
Really?
he's crying. Oh my God! I was like, dude, I feel like I'm abusing him. I didn't even make him cry. I didn't even say anything mean to him, but he cries like that Netflix thing. We had to change the rules. He didn't want to dunk, so I had to eat the hot dogs, no dunking. It's that guy is. He needs. Yeah. I still love him. I respect the competition.
But he cries a lot.
Oh, he cries.
He's a baby, sports baby.
I don't know.
He's a sports
man.
baby. No, what I was going to ask you is, I see you as responsible for the popularity of the sport. How do you see it evolving?
I think I think part of the biggest thing is 4th of July. It's America.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to apologize for being American. You don't have to apologize for eating 20 hot dogs. It's the perfect storm of like, hey, we're loving this thing. We're loving hot dogs. We love fireworks, and we're going to push it to the limit.
We're here with a lot of football players, media row.
Yeah.
Joey, in the NFL, 30s, 40-ish tops is like, it's time to call quits. Is there a retirement age for competitive eating? Is that something, like, golfers could go into their 50s or 60s if they wanted to? Like,
you know what? I keep looking towards Tom Brady. I think he won the Super Bowl at 44.
Yeah.
I'm 41 right now. It'd be really nice to be on top at 44. That'd be really rad. At 45, that'd be unheard of. That'd be nuts. So that'd be really cool. I'm just, and it's taking more work.
I was gonna say, as just nature and life and your body takes over.
Father Time is a jerk. When I was younger, I could do a practice like every 3 or 4 days. Now it's like 7 or 8 days to the recovery period. It takes so much longer to recover.
You know what I was going to ask you, Joe? There's so many football teams that take a lot of pride in eating those Uncrustables, right? Like, what was the Broncos?
Oh, yeah,
they were
the Broncos team, I think it was like 700 Uncrustables they put back in a week.
like they're pounding those. Like, maybe that's an angle for you. How many of those PBJ?
700 for a
Yeah,
whole team.
but
Yeah,
the whole
the full
team.
That's
team.
Bush League.
Right,
What's
like,
going on there?
I'm wondering how many you could eat. Again, peanut butter and jelly with the bread and everything. Like,
that's one I haven't done in
but
contests.
it's become a big thing because all these young football players now, they grew up eating that. So it's a big
Yeah.
thing in the locker room. That might be an angle for you. Like, you could take on an entire team, I'm thinking.
Or like the offensive line. I think that'd be
Right?
really reasonable.
Joey versus the offensive line
No,
in
seriously.
an Uncrustables contest.
Take on the Denver Broncos. I'd put my money on you, man.
That'd be rad.
No, seriously. Have you never tried that?
I've done a couple contests, me versus a group of people, but I think Uncrustables, that sounds, it needs to be done.
Right?
Add that to the list of records.
Let us promote it. Let's get some money
Let's
going.
do it.
Oh, yeah,
man.
do
Yeah.
something for charity.
Smucker's got some flow. Let's do this.
Yeah.
No doubt. Joey, here at the Super Bowl, is it funny when people in different sports recognize you, like NFL players or, celebrities pass by like, hey, Joey Chestnut? That's got to be a weird feeling, right?
I mean, it's weird, but then they tell me, oh, I've been watching you since I was a kid. I was like, damn.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
old.
Hey, speaking of the youngsters, man, Joey Chestnut here with Covino and Rich. Do you have advice for aspiring eaters, like the young guys out there that are like, you know what? I'm good at this. What sort of advice would you give them?
I think it's really it's figuring out your body, because it's not like, these guys play football. They knew 5, 6 years old they were going to be a professional football player. Like me, I didn't really think I was going to be. It wasn't even when I was champion. I didn't think it was going to be my jobby job.
Right.
It was so.
And you were embarrassed by
Yeah,
it.
it was
instead
something
of leaning into
it was something I grew up like. All right, I
Yeah.
have to hide it from the world. But a competitive eater, like these days, like if they know they're a good eater and they start figuring out their body when they're young, trial and error, and learning how to go from absolutely empty to 100% full, and then make their body, make it go through your body fast. If they can figure out their body, I think that's the biggest thing is like keep a food journal of how you're feeling and knowing that you don't actually have to feel good to do good.
And I want the Fox Sports Radio Nation to always remember it's Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Gretzky, Ali, and Joey Chestnut.
Ooh.
There he is.
There he
And
is,
by
the
the way,
goat. He's the GOAT.
this year, the return, hopefully.
Oh,
Hopefully,
hey, you
that'd
never
be
know.
sweet.
The return.
Let's put some pressure on him.
Dude, always a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Great
for
to be
real.
on with you guys.
Yep.
Joey Chestnut, Covino and Rich.
Fox Sports Radio.
Overpromised.